Do you still think that the 4th of July is about celebrating the people's freedom and that France gave the United States the Statue of Liberty to commemorate that freedom? Aw, that's adorable. Well, have you ever noticed the chains on the Statue of Liberty and how they're broken specifically? You see, what a lot of people have realized, and a lot of people have done videos on, is that the Statue of Liberty is actually a statue of Lucifer. Down to the chains that they both have and the 7-point crown, the one that you can see here where he's holding it in this 1848 Lucifer statue. How their positions are the same, how their faces even look the same. Like I said, their faces even look similar. This is the 1848 statue of Lucifer and the current face of the Statue of Liberty. But do you know that there is an original face of the Statue of Liberty? An original face that just happens to look just like Elvis. But we'll get back to that, because right now I want to focus on this broken chain. And I simply want to point out this Bible verse to you. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold of that dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. He bound him in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. And just a few short verses later, after 1,000 years have expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, which is the bottomless pit, and go out to deceive the nations. So he was chained and bound for 1,000 years in the bottomless pit. And when those 1,000 years has expired, he is released from his chains in the bottomless pit. You know what those chains kind of remind me of? The chains on the 1848 Lucifer statue and the chains on the Liberty statue. You know, the Statue of Liberty that has the Freemasons plaque on it commemorating our nation's freedom. You know, the Freemasons love and worship Lucifer. You know, the light bearer. Good old Google even says there is a plaque on the Statue of Liberty that incorporates Masonic symbols, specifically the square and compass. And what was that given to us for again by France? Oh yeah, the independence of America and their friendship between France and the United States. The statue's official name is Liberty Enlightening the World. That kind of sounds like Lucifer, the light bearer. You know, Lucifer, the guy that's got the broken chain and the torch over there, the light bearer. And Lucifer, who probably wasn't put in the bottomless pit by himself, but maybe with his fellow fallen angels. You know, the 200 of them mentioned in the book of Enoch, also put in the bottomless pit. Anyone else ever think it's strange that there just happen to be 200 proven meteorite or asteroid impact craters in the Earth? You know, ones that look like this and these. There's even one that's literally on fire all the time. But this one looks a little different. That doesn't look like the other ones. What's this one? Oh, you know, the one that just happens to be at 666 United Nations Way and in the middle of the yard, like there's a tribute to it? Maybe, just maybe, they've pulled the wool so far over our faces that we don't realize the time period we're living in either. And maybe we're living in a time past the 1,000-year millennial reign where Satan is let loose from the bottomless pit and freed his chains to deceive the nations. And maybe that statue that looks like this now, but used to look like this, is just celebrating Satan's release. But why would he look like Elvis, you ask? Well, if I were a fallen angel who just happened to be known as the minister of music in heaven, and I got kicked out of heaven for wanting to be worshipped like God, if I was put down in earth, well, to get back at God, I would most certainly try to get everyone to worship me instead of the Heavenly Father. And what better way to do it than to be the greatest musician to ever live and have everyone worship you? But you can't do it just so openly that your face is literally plastered on the big statue. The big statue that doesn't commemorate the United States freedom, but the freedom from the bottomless pit, which in my humble opinion happened in 1776. And if these fallen angels are either immortal angels or die and reincarnate, whatever it is, there would be evidence of them living before the millennial reign, right? Well, thanks to my buddy Cedric who sent this to me, we now have our evidence. A 70 BC Babylonian king that just happens to look an awful lot like the king of rock and roll. An awful lot like him. You see, he has been getting people to worship him for thousands of years. And I think this is his last chance. Maybe his last chance to test us. But if you've seen any of my videos, you know I don't think he's doing it in this form or this form anymore. No, they changed his looks a little, just like they changed the looks of the Statue of Liberty, so you wouldn't be the wiser. No, he's looking a little bit more like this lately. But of course, all this for entertainment purposes, people. I know the 4th of July is to celebrate our independence from those tyrannical people over in the UK. Yeah. Doesn't matter that all our presidents have been related to an English king. We still have our independence. Entertainment only. Oh, and they would never mock us by creating a show called Fallout, where the lead star who escapes from underground in a pit, whose name is Lucy. Oh, and she just happens to, what number does she wear? 33. Kind of like 0.33 or a third. A third of God's angels fell with Lucifer, aka Lucy, and they wouldn't definitely put it right in plain sight for all to see. That's how much they mock you, people. It's time to figure it out. But like I said earlier, of course, this is for entertainment purposes.